The aim of this short video is to introduce you to how you might run a quiz at your meeting or event using the CLiKAPAD keypads. So we're not going to go into depth of how to create the slides, but I am just going to run you through how it might look during the event. So the keypads themselves are very user friendly. You'll notice there's two options in this image. One is joining in remotely using your smartphone. It's not an app that you have to install. It is all browser based. So it might be a phone, it might be an iPad or other tablet, or it could just be another window on your computer. So long as you've got an internet connection, you can join in and vote on your own device. On the left, those are the CLiKAPAD keypads, and as you can see, it's very similar to the layout on the mobile phone version. Voting is a very simple process. If you want to choose option 3, you press 3. There's no buttons to switch it on and off. There's no submit button or anything like that. So there's basically no learning curve. If you change your mind, so let's say you thought the correct answer was 3 and then you suddenly think, actually, no, I'd rather choose 2, that's fine. You can overwrite your vote. The system will only take your final answer while the vote is open. So just press your new choice and that's what will be submitted to the software. Simple as that. So, looking specifically at quizzes, those might be quizzes with individual players as winners, or perhaps you are going to divide your teams by table, for example. So if we've put keypads 1 to 7 on table 1 and 8 to 14 on table 2 and so forth, we can actually allocate those to table teams. You don't have to choose one or the other either. You could have a winning team and then you could also show an individual winner, because that winning individual may not even be on the winning table. So it's not a one or other scenario. You can have a mixture of both. So this is an example of a fairly simple quiz question. Throughout this whole video, I am just using the same question over and over, because what I want to show you is different ways that you might present the information more than anything. But what you'll notice is this is just another slide in my PowerPoint deck. So we've looked at a couple of normal slides and now we're on to a vote. Now everything on there is just PowerPoint. So you could change the colors, you could change the layout, whatever your slide master demands can be done here. The only thing on the screen right now that's not PowerPoint is at the bottom of the slide. It's got a little box that says time left and it's got a play icon. Now it's going to give people 10 seconds to vote, but it doesn't do that until the operator clicks for them to start voting. So if I click now, down goes the time, and underneath the counter you can see a little blue bar growing. Now that's giving me an idea of how many of my audience have voted, so I can either close that vote as soon as it hits 0, or if I can see people are still voting, I might just wait a little longer to get some more votes in. When I'm ready to close it, I just click to advance and up comes a graph. So in this example, 45% of our audience chose option 3. Now the colours on the slide as well, this is not PowerPoint now, this is a graph coming from the software that comes with the CLiKAPAD keypads, but every one of those colours can be defined to match brand guidelines. So upon my next click, I can choose a way to reveal which one was the correct answer. So I've just put a rectangle on there to highlight that option 3 was the correct answer. So same layout again, and I'm going to start the timer. I'm not going to make you wait 10 seconds every time. I'm just going to generate some random data and close that off. So we can use column charts instead of bars if we need to. So perhaps if you had very long options or varying length answer options, a column chart might work a bit better than a bar chart. And in this example, we've just added a tick. Now, again, that part where we're showing which answer is correct, that is just PowerPoint, so that could be whatever you like. So moving on, same question again with a different layout. In this example, we're not going to show a graph at all. So you might be more likely to use this for something like a picture round. So if you wanted to show 4 faces and ask which one of those is a particular person, that would work well on this type of slide. So this time, when we get the results in, they're on there just as text labels. So if you haven't got space for a graph, there's other ways around it. And you can mix things up on your different slides by perhaps having different layouts for different rounds just to keep it fun. Same again, different animation choice this time. So on this one, we found that most people think it was 1981. On the next click, we actually say it wasn't, it was 1982. So I think you're probably getting the feel. It's PowerPoint. You can make it look however you want to make it look, essentially. So this will probably look very familiar, a TV show that we're all aware of. Again, this is all just PowerPoint, so we really can go for any chosen style. We can also, during that 10-second countdown, we could have run a little bit of music, a bit of mood music as they're voting. And then when we reveal correct answers, of course, we can play a sound clip at that point as well. So let's just do one last one. And then, of course, the all important thing, we've asked our series of questions. Everybody will want to know who the winner is. Now, you can have just winners at the end of the entire quiz, or you can have winning teams per round. You can make each round discrete, so they each have a different winner, or they could be cumulative. So you're building up your leaderboard as you go along. There's lots of options to consider. So in this example, we've done this as individual keypads. If you know which keypad you've given to which player, this could come up with a player's name. Of course, it does add a little bit of work in terms of registration, knowing which device you've given to which person, but it is quite nice to see the name on screen. If you don't know the names, that's not a problem. There's a big number label on the back of all the keypads, and it can be quite fun actually to ask them to turn over to see whether they are the winning keypad. So in this example, I'm showing just the person that came second. And then I can move on and say, but who was the winner? So there's our winning keypad. On the one before, I didn't show a score. On this one, I have. So you can choose whether or not you show total number of points, percentage result, or just the winner. It's quite popular actually just to show the winning keypad, because in some circumstances it might be 100%, and then it can cause a kerfuffle because there'll be a few people saying that they got 100% too. So the important thing to know at that point is if multiple players have answered as many questions correct as each other, so let's imagine they did, we had 5 or 6 people that got 100% correct, what the system would do with that is it would revert to response time. So the winning keypad will be the one that answered the most questions correctly in the shortest time. So that's your individual winners. But what about teams? Effectively, much the same. So on this one, we can see there table 11 and table 13 have got exactly the same score, and yet 11 has come second, 13 has come third. That will be down to the speed element. So again, I've put on here first, second and third place. We could have done that with individual players as well. And equally on teams, we could have done it the way that I did with individuals. So we could have one slide for third, another slide for second, and then finally a first place winner, for example. So hopefully that's given you a nice overview of how you might use CLiKAPADs to run a quiz.